Hello, this is the Political 12-Year-Old Show. I'm 12 and talk politics. Oh, no, we're doing the same thing over again. Doing the same thing. Okay, sorry. We had some technical difficulties with the internet in my house. The struggles having a home recording studio is real. Alright, we'll just continue where we were. We're not going to continue. We're going to go back to the beginning. I'm going to screw myself over like I usually do with these kind of things. Okay, so, well, before we begin, we have to, of course, introduce our sponsors. 400 Faces, great artist. He is a great artist. So basically, what 400 Faces is, he's an artist based on spreading positivity and fun in the world, through art, and art is just an amazing outlet for that. So he's some great work on Instagram, 400 Faces. You can check him out. I follow him. I'll put my money where my mouth is. You can check that right now. I follow him. Great stuff. And you can check out his stuff below, and he's having a store coming soon. Some exciting stuff. All right, so before we begin, well, actually, no, let's begin now. Okay, so nope, that's not my password. Man, what this will do to you. All right, so Rachel Maddow from MSNBC, I think that's how you pronounce Rachel Maddow, leaked Trump's tax returns. That's right, they still can't get over the same stuff. This was hyped up, and this was hyped up a lot. They had it was made an exclusive tax release, release and leak. They made it, they made it so that that they made a like a clock in down low that it was just huge, and it turned out to be a nothing burger. So what happened was it released that Trump paid 25% to the government and paid $38 million. like this is what you're trying to get Trump at. Like, I got you. And it turned out Obama, Bernie, and Comcast, the parent company of MSNBC, paid less than Trump, percentage-wise. Obama paid 19% to the government. Bernie, 13%. In Comcast, the parent company for MSNBC, paid 24%. It also turned out that it also turned out that NBC, the people with the same parent company as MSNBC, wrote a story saying that this was a nothing burger as well. Why the hell would you leak this? This is nothing. Not only is it nothing, it's a huge win. It's a huge win for the guy. I mean, you first you have the fake news where it said Russia hacked the election. Then you have the fake news that he didn't pay his taxes for 18 years. That was proven false by the New York Times printed that, and it was proven false. And now they're saying that they're trying to discredit him as being a true American because he paid 38 million. Yes, mainstream media. It turns out that Donald Trump is a very successful businessman who does his job very well and pays 38 million. And pays the amount that he is the exact amount that he is required to pay. What a concept! Sorry for the screaming in the background. But who would leak these? I mean, who would go to MSNBC and be like, "Yup, I got him. Yeah, he's done. It's over with. He's fried out on a pan. Just run the story, and it's gonna be great." No, you suck. MSNBC, you suck at your job. Some people are even saying that Donald Trump leaked these. I wouldn't be surprised at all. And now I'm going to explain something to you. Media, mainstream media, please just stop. I'm begging you. Stop. Stop trying to discredit Trump. I'm gonna sound like Sean Hannity here. Wait, let me get the pen. The alt left and destroy Trump at all costs. Media. That pen in his hand like this. But he has a point. They're trying to destroy him to the point that there's no credit. There's no way to there's just no way to destroy every single detail. And they're not only that, they're trying to make it to seem like their side is winning. They can't just destroy Trump. Just you sound like a real conservative. Why don't you try and sound right? You can Trump and prove that Republican. You don't even have to sound like a conservative. Why don't you be a journalist? Why don't you do your job instead of trying to make everything an issue that the right is always wrong and you guys are always right? Well, it turns out, honey, you're not. I don't think you will ever be. I mean, if you're going to, if the mainstream media is not only going to attack Trump, but attack jokes we've seen with the mainstream media, they is hacking, just anyone, not even leftists, who say anything that goes against their agenda. PewDiePie is someone who is what it seems to be a leftist. And they tried to rip him apart because of a joke that he said. They've also tried to make it seem like people like Dave Rubin, they're calling him a conspiracy theorist. Just because he has on people who, and by the way, he is a leftist. Just because he has people on his show that have some pretty extreme thoughts and opinions, but at the same time, you have to come to realize that this is what free speech is about, and the mainstream media hates that. The leftist, propaganda artists hate that. They hate the idea of everyone not thinking the same, everyone not believing in the same kind of society that they want to live in, which is everyone who doesn't disagree with everyone who doesn't disagree with me gets to live in La La Land. And if they don't, well, they get fried. They are being a fascist. This is fascistic. The same thing that they're trying to fight, they are being. It's kind of like that bully, where, hey, I'm kind of like the bully who, or not the bully, the nerd who gets bullied and starts, with a couple jokes, like a little like push, and you're like, hey, back off, and everyone's like, okay. And then he starts getting a little more, and then he finally becomes what he hates. Except the news has always been like this. The news has always been propaganda artists. All right, we're gonna take a quick little break. Make sure to leave a like, and I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. I will be fixing that, but stay tuned as I will be having on Caleb Dyer next, right here on the show. Man, I love this song. Oh, wait. You always have to wait for it. You always have to wait. All right, hello. We have a very, very exciting guest. Someone who has caught the eyes of the Libertarian Party and libertarians. We have Caleb Dyer with his new switch. He switched from I forgot the party to the Libertarian Party. So how you doing, Caleb? Oh wait, unmute yourself first. Okay, there.
And now I'm unmuted.
Yeah.
Hold on one sec. Yeah. Anyhow, so sorry, I was trying to interrupt, but anyhow, so I switched from the Republican Party to the Libertarian Party.
Wait. First, we have to introduce you. You gotta. Yeah. I know. It's just how things roll. All right. So this is Caleb Dyer. How you doing, buddy?
Doing all right.
All right. So now you could say what you're going to say.
Oh, well, I'm Caleb Dyer. I switched back on February 9th from the Republican Party to the Libertarian Party. The switch came about because of a couple problems I had with Republican leadership. What's all that static in the background?
For me? Is that may be are you like watching this on another?
Oh wait, okay, yeah, that might be a problem.
Yeah, that really hurts.
Alrighty.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think we're good now.
Yeah, I think that the technical difficulties are over. All right. So you are Caleb Dyer. You switched from the Republican Party to the Libertarian Party back in February.
Yes.
So why did you switch?
The prime motivator was that I was very discontent with the Republican leadership. I was only the sponsor of 5 bills in the House. I was co-sponsor on one of those bills. That was a police body camera bill. But of those 5 bills, the Republican leadership came in and signed in against 4 out of those 5. So
what bills were they?
I don't have the bill numbers on hand, but real quick, one of them was to remove emissions testing from automobile inspections. Another one was police body cameras. That was the one that I was the prime sponsor on, and there were a couple others.
So the Republican Party kind of signed off on not testing for car emissions. I mean,
no, they didn't sign off on it. They signed in against the bill. So the way a bill goes through committee is that the bill comes before the House, enters committee, or is referred to a committee, and then the committee does work on the bill. So they have a public hearing on the bill, they hear testimony, and sometimes that testimony can come from the House Republican office. In this case, the House Republican office came in and signed in against the bill. So they took a position against a Republican bill.
Well, so you had a problem with Republican leadership. Was that more like economically, or more like just the way they're trying to get things done? Did you see like them going back on their traditional values, which was the Ronald Reagan side of the party, which was get off my back? That kind of 1970s, 1980s conservative movement that was going on. Did you like see them going against that?
Yeah, I definitely did. I see there's a little bit of factionalization in the Republican Party, at least in the New Hampshire House. You have the Libertarian Republicans, which is pretty much where I was. You have the more Reagan kind of Republicans, which is kind of signified by the House Republican Alliance. That's a separate caucus of the Republican Party in the New Hampshire House. The mainstream Republicans, or they actually call them the Main Street Republicans. I don't really know exactly why, but anyhow, so there are kind of three different caucuses in the Republican Party, and that's what's causing most of the division. Right now, the Main Street Republicans control the House pretty much because the Speaker is what I would consider a Main Street Republican. He's not a Reagan Republican. He's certainly not a Libertarian Republican. So there are definitely economic policy issues that I have with him that we don't really agree. There's also social policy issues because he definitely panders more to the religious right than I certainly do. So there's a lot of differences in that respect.
Yeah, and like what I want to like talk about is like the rise of libertarianism, because this all started in 1971, and now we've just built like it first came about, you know, with Ronald Reagan kind of sponsoring, you know, libertarianism, you know, promoting getting the government off of laissez-faire, those kind of policies. And now it's kind of gotten into the mainstream culture where more and more people are identifying as libertarians, and more people are appealing to them. Would you say that has more to do with social issues, like liberals are starting to turn away from the Democratic Party because of, you know, the nonsense that we've been hearing from like Bernie, the rhetoric, and they certainly don't like Republicans because simply their ideologies are two completely separate things. So what do you think is like what people are appealing to when it comes to the Libertarian Party?
Well, I think one of the greatest things that evidences how the Libertarians are kind of trying to pander is the Gary Johnson campaign. The Gary Johnson campaign was very clearly targeted at young liberal students. It was not targeted at, you know, your traditional Republican. It was not targeted even at, your traditional Democrat. It was targeted pretty much at the Bernie crowd.
Yeah.
It was not.
Can we establish that Gary Johnson sucks though?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. No, I didn't vote for him. No, I actually, in the primary cycle for the Libertarian Party, I supported John McAfee. Even though at the time I was a registered Republican, I've always kind of, known what was going on in the Libertarian sphere because, I have a lot of friends who are registered Libertarians, and anyhow, so I definitely liked John McAfee in the primary cycle for the Libertarian Party, but Gary Johnson, his campaign was definitely targeted towards Bernie crats. Definitely targeted towards Bernie crats. And he understood that was going to be, even though it's not the most principled way to grow the party, he understood that was going to be the way that it was going to grow fastest if, people were going to hop on board. Yeah, so he made a bad decision, but at the end of the day, it's going to grow the party because we do have very socially, classically liberal positions, and that appeals to a lot of, progressive Democrats because, there are a lot of libertarians out there who want all drugs to be legal. And we understand that that's a very radical position to take, but it's principled position, and, that attracts a lot of progressives.
Yeah, but with principles and values, that's kind of how like these things start out. I mean, the Republican Party, way back in history was like even in like when the U.S. government was starting up, the Republican Party wasn't that people didn't appeal to them as much, and they weren't thought fondly of. But they stuck to their values. They were very principled, and they grew from a minority. And I see that happening with the Libertarian Party. But I think that's going to be their one in true killer, because of what the Republican Party did is they appealed to the establishment. Then they attracted all these organizations. I'm not talking about the NRA. I'm talking about like companies and shady businesses, and then they tell people, they endorse candidates who aren't really conservatives, like Paul Ryan. you know, Paul Ryan and they're endorsing these outrageous healthcare plans like Trump Care. I mean, it's Trump. We call it Trump Care because we called Obamacare, because we called the Affordable Care Act Obamacare, but Obama did support the 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 healthcare plan, but we're not going to get into that. What we're sticking to is principles. I lost my train of thought.
It's all good, man.
Yeah. But yeah, with them, endorsing Paul Ryan and then silencing the minority of the party, like Rand Paul, which most people actually kind of like, and we're seeing that with the Republican Party, the libertarian side of things, and I would say that maybe it's kind of like a counterculture, not only against the left, but against the Paul Ryan, establishment elite side of the Republican Party.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. I always laugh when I listen to Paul Ryan because Paul Ryan really likes Ayn Rand, and Ayn Rand, of course, she's the libertarian, the original libertarian fangirl, as some might put it. But it's like I always laugh when he talks about Ayn Rand because it's very clear that if he really did, appreciate the works of Ayn Rand, he really wouldn't be pushing some of the policies that he does. So yeah, there's definitely something to be said for the Republicans pandering to business and business protectionism, and a lot of policies that are, I would say, anti-liberal in terms of using the word as freedom-oriented. I hate the idea of calling liberals liberal because they're not. They're anything but. They don't really believe in true liberal values or classical liberalism. They want a command economy, or if not a full command economy, they want an economy that is significantly restricted, significantly controlled, and that is anti-liberal, if anything.
Yeah, I mean,
and the Republicans are no better. The Republicans are pursuing policies, at least in healthcare, right, with the one that you brought up. Republicans are pursuing policies where there is far more market control than there should be. We should go back to what it was in the 1950s when you could go out to a doctor's office, pay cash right there at the doctor's office. There should be no reason why you can't contract directly with a doctor. But instead, we have all these market regulations at the federal and state levels that basically force you into a position where you must purchase health insurance. And it's wrong. It should not be that way. And, that's why so many people are calling for the repeal of the Affordable Care Act. Because they understand that these market controls don't work. And fundamentally, that's what's going to bring about the rise of libertarians. Because we stand on the principle that these market controls don't ever work. And the Republicans will pander. They'll keep saying, oh, but some market controls are necessary. And the Democrats will say, oh, but some market controls are necessary. And they'll always fight over which market controls they want. But they're never going to actually fight to reduce and roll back those market controls. So, that's why I've absolutely given up with the Republican Party at this point. It's because they will not actually take a stand. And there's very few that will take a stand to actually roll back the market controls that they put.
Yeah, and with the term liberal, I mean, there needs to be a name. So the conservatives have kind of called them regressives, and actually actual progressives on the left, like Dave Rubin, have been like co-sponsoring that term of regressive. But when we talk about liberals, they're regressives. Let's call them that. They not only want complete market control, they want complete social control. They want complete thought control. They want everyone to agree with them. And if you don't fit into that little tiny box of thought, then you're fried to pans. And I hate it when they bring up the issue of minorities, because they are anything but pro minorities. Like people
if they cared about minorities, they would protect the ultimate minority, which is the individual. If they actually cared about minorities. But if they don't care about individuals or their rights, then they can't claim to care about any minority, as far as I'm concerned. So,
yeah, and I'm Cuban, and I have literally been punched in the face. At a I wouldn't say punched in the face. I would say like more smacked,
Assaulted?
like kind of like yeah, like a little like get off me. Punch is a little too harsh, but maybe like a little bam, like get out my face. I mean, it kind of hurt. I mean, I maybe
hurt your feelings.
Yeah, it hurt my feelings a little. But I mean that was from someone who understood that I was a Cuban, because I wore my Make Cuba Great Again shirt, and so they definitely understood that I was Latino, and they kind of like hit me because I was supporting Trump. I mean, supporting what Trump said, and I think it was, let's see, that was 2 months. It was about cutting regulation. So definitely, I think that they were anything but the minority. And if they were truly about minorities and about with the issue of African Americans, what happened to guns? Because if they were truly about the minority, guns are the most important issue in the African American community. Because if we're going to like in places like Chicago, black on black crime is out of control, because these African Americans are being pushed around by thugs who are in the same skin color and have no way of protection except their fists. And these I won't even call them men. These these people who are black don't mind breaking the law because they're criminals. And what you brought up, the biggest minority is the liberal, is the individual. Yeah. You make a really great point there. I never kind of saw it like that. I mean, and that's true. I mean, there's only one person in the individual minority, and which is you, which is just yourself. And it's
always the smallest minority.
Yeah.
Always.
So how do you think that we can counter that?
How do I think we can counter the kind of collectivist mentality of the left, or
yeah? In society itself, because right now we're in a culture war.
Yeah, I think the best way to counter that mentality is to go out and tell people that, they need to look out for themselves and their rights. It's minorities don't have any special rights by simply being a minority, nor do collectives. Collectives do not have special rights simply by virtue of being a collective. We need
well, it just something really funny. My dad actually got a scholarship to his college just for being Latino, and I mean that's kind of going to be my plan now, is getting an extra scholarship just for being Latino. I mean, so yeah, just because you're a minority, you aren't granted you shouldn't be granted certain rights just because in society somewhat you're saying that you have less rights. But continue, because I rudely interrupted there. I just need to say
no, it's all
I'm
good.
sorry.
Anyhow, but I think the best way to counter it is to empower individuals. So basically say to them, in a way, preach to them that they are responsible ultimately for their own actions, and that it doesn't matter if you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, it doesn't matter. You can be a man, a woman, transgender, homosexual, it doesn't matter. None of that matters. All that matters is that you have the will to do something. And if someone stands in your way of doing something that is peaceable, then don't take any shit. You do what's right. You do what's good for you. And if someone else comes along and tries to boss you around and tell you how to live your life, then just don't take it. That's the best way to do it, to empower people to take responsibility for their own actions, take responsibility in their own lives. And that's the best way to counter collectivism in any form.
I mean, that's a pretty much a basic principle that we learn in middle school. I had to write a report in detention about self-control, responsibility, self-respect. We as a person, in general, even as young as I am, we are responsible for our actions. And to say that because in some way you're not granted a certain right, because we can't establish what's a right these days. We that you're given certain advantages because you don't have a certain advantage. That is the definition of racism. When you're saying because of my race, I have to I have to be granted certain advantages. That is racism, because you are establishing that a certain uh, uh, authority,
Class of people.
yeah, a certain authority must give you an advantage because of your skin color. That is, by definition, by your definition, that's not my definition, by the liberals' definition, racism.
Yeah, no. By any definition, if you are granting some group of people any privilege that they would not otherwise have naturally, then you are using the power, the violence of the state to establish, the fact that they are not equal to someone else. You're basically codifying in law that some group or some, subsect of the people of a country are not equal to the rest of the people in the country. It's just not the case. Everyone in this country has the equality of opportunity. That right off the bat. There's no guarantee of equality of outcome. It's not everyone in the United States is going to be a millionaire in their lifetime. Not everyone's going to be a billionaire. Some people might not even make 10 grand in their lifetime. They might die before that. So there is no guarantee of outcome in this world. You can only guarantee that everyone is equal from the get-go, that all men are created equal. It's that fundamental concept that, we'll always keep coming back to it. And if you start using the power of the state to grant privileges and grant rights, they're not really rights, they're just glorified privileges, to any subset, it's a very dangerous, slippery slope.
Yeah, and granting equality through the state and through force, I'm actually questionable by that, because if one person works harder and the other one doesn't, and we both give them the same amount, that's not equality, is it?
No, of course not.
So, and there's other questions about this equality that comes from communism. The state runs it. So, doesn't one person have the advantage there? The overall advantage over the worker because they have complete control?
Yes, you just create a political class. That's all you do. You just create a class of people who will, be able to dictate to the underlings, how their lives will be. And it's wrong. It's fundamentally immoral. Every man is a master of their own life.
Yeah.
You can say it all kinds of different ways, but it keeps coming back to that. Every man's responsible for their own life, responsible for their own actions. And, if they don't take responsibility, someone else is going to, and they might not like how that happens, so.
Yeah. And I want to thank you for coming on, because you've been great. I also wanted to ask you something before we came. You came on. We had a little test call, and I called you the word politician, and you didn't like that.
Oh no, I don't even think very many people in the New Hampshire House are politicians. I mean, I'm just a normal, 20-year-old kid who, working and doing whatever else. So in my free time, I literally have to make time to go up to Concord so that I can vote. Tomorrow is session. I got to be up early in the morning to work. I work as an editor, so I work in language. So, I got to wake up early, do that work, and by 8 o'clock I need to be done. By 9 o'clock I need to be headed up to Concord so I can be there by 10. So I can go and vote, and that's just, I got to make the time. We're not politicians. We're just people who are concerned and are civically active, civically minded. So
I mean, but the term politician is someone who works for a place of authority that promotes policies. So I mean, you don't. I mean, I can understand the terminology. Like you don't like the word politician.
listen, we're a citizen legislature. We all kinds of people serve in the New Hampshire House. I mean, I serve in the Environment and Agriculture Committee. I get a bunch of farmers on that committee. People who run farms in their spare time, or not in their spare time. That's their job. They run their farm. They go to work or do whatever they do, and then they come on Thursday and they meet for session, or come on Tuesday and meet for their committee meetings. And we volunteer ourselves. We get paid $100 a year to be a representative. That's the lowest by far of any legislature in the country. We basically get paid about a cent an hour. So, it's far below minimum wage. So, we're not really politics. We just do it because it's the right thing to do. And, people appreciate that, we go and do the job, because it's very few people have the time. Very few people can make the time. And, it's something that basically it's your duty. It's different from anywhere else in the country. It's very hard to explain, because where do you live, in Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah, down in Florida, your legislators get paid $30,000, $40,000 a year. They get paid obscene amounts of money, and they get health benefits, they get travel compensation, all of that. We get $100 a year, and we get our gas paid. That's it.
Well, thank you for coming on. One last question though for the viewers, because this is dire. Will you, no pun intended. Will you, by any chance, by any day, run for? This is by a request. This question was by request from my fans. Will you, by any chance, run for state legislature or U.S. legislature, or any kind of office in the future?
Will I run for any higher office?
Yes.
No, I probably won't ever run for a higher office. If I do, it's going to be all within the state of New Hampshire. I'm never going to run for any federal offices.
Well,
Yep.
I mean, but it's glad to hear people like you. Thank you for coming on. God bless your heart, and I'll hopefully you can continue watching my program.
Thanks, man. Let me know if you ever do something else. I'd love to come on again. I'd love to join in and hang out with multiple other folks. If you ever do a debate, I'd love to come on, debate some folks, and have a good time.
All right, thank you for coming on.
All right, have a good one, man.
All right, thank you, Caleb Dyer, for coming on. Next up, I don't know. There's been a little miscommunications, but I will be hopefully fixing that, and I'll be back in 5 minutes. See you then. No, it always happens. It always happens. I can't just, like, not forget. Alright. So, when, the show is in trouble, and we, sometimes things happen. I was supposed to have on a guest, but, something happened in the family, in his family. Prayers go out to him, so he wasn't able to make it. But what do we do when we have nothing to do? We look at people's Twitters and debunk them. Segment, but let's take a look at some Twitters. All right, let's screen share Twitter. All right, okay. So we have on Twitter right here. This is my what? Oh no, I was looking at the wrong thing. I thought 29 people were following me. Only 9 followers. If you haven't already, make sure you follow me. So let's take a look at someone's Twitter. Who have I not done? Oh yeah, Sally Cone. Here we go. Where's Sally Cone? Why isn't she here? Hold on, let me look her up. Let me Google her. Sally Cone. Alright, Twitter, right here. Sally Cone. Alright, Twitter was already trying to help her. First of all, let's just take a look at this. Why does she always, like, do that? Hold on, let me stop. I mean, it looks kind of ridiculous. I mean, Sally, a great, very intelligent leftist, but come on. She has a very odd smile, but well, let's take a look. FYI, well, let's take a look at this pinned tweet. If you pin it, you know it's real. FYI, Trump also wants to ban a third of world from entering our country, round up immigrants, and kick 24 million people off their insurance. No, he does not want to round up immigrants. He specifically said, "I want to deport illegal immigrants." It's that kind of thing that really pisses me off. That kind of, switching up the words a little and blowing things way out of proportion. Also, ban a third of world. Or ban third world countries. No. Ban a third of the world. He doesn't want to ban a third of the world. He doesn't... Okay, we have 9 billion people in the world. I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to ban 3 billion people. And even if he does want to ban all Muslims, that's still like 1.8 billion. So, not even close. And he doesn't want to kick 24 million people off their insurance. He specifically said that everyone would be covered. I don't agree with him on that, but I'm just saying that these people are complete idiots. Let's see. All right. We all need to read and reckon with how our media courts everything believed white cops' lies over black kids' truth. I don't know much about that, so I'm not going to get into that. Okay. I assume there's a place where everyone's iPhone headphones are disappearing. It's to and not comedic. No. And I want specifically hold on. Okay. I want specifically things I can rebuke. Okay. Trump equals example of tax deferments. I just debunked that in the beginning of the show, so you're wrong. Crushy leases on public land, etc. He used public benefits more than regular people. Should pay more. Where's your evidence of that? I'm pretty sure he didn't use public benefits more than regular people, and probably not more than illegal immigrants do, where there actually were like more than, I think, like 40% use welfare. So I think that I think that's a little stupid right there. Another stupid tweet. Sorry, Sally. But it's a stupid tweet right there. Let's look at another one. Ah, nope, can't read that. Yes. Henceforth, I think whoever leaked Trump's tax returns should be known as Deep Gloat. Okay, that's kind of funny. Hashtag Happy Pie Day, y'all. This is one. Oh my gosh, is she really this like? Uh, okay. I hope hardworking people who voted for Trump learned they paid a higher tax rate than he did, and that Trump plans to cut his own rate even more. Let's take a look at that. So he paid 25%. Let's take a look. Tax rate right now. All right. Let's take a look. 2016, 2017 tax brackets. All right. Taxpayers fall into 7 brackets: 10%, 15%, 25%, 28%, 33%, 35%, or 39.6. Man, I'm coughing. All right, so let's take a look. If you're a household of $50,000. Oh, wait. No, we're looking at single. All right, and we're looking at married filing jointly or qualifying widow. 25% is from 75,000 to 151,000, and let's see. That is so. Wait. Oh wait, that is 75,000 to 151,000, and the medium income for people who are the average income of people yearly is around 51,000. That means that no. That means that no, people did not pay most people did not pay more of a tax rate than Donald Trump did. Nice try, Sally. This return in isolation is nothing but serious kudos to Maddow for hyping story to refocus attention on unanswered questions. All right, so the first part is correct. Second of all, they're already answered. She already answered them. I mean, let's get real. She answered that he paid $38 million to the government for being for being successful. Holy crap. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, yeah. Also, Mr. Trump, when your administration confirms the tax returns are legitimate, reporting on them is by definition not dishonest. And then right here, you're stupid. I'm sorry. I don't want to waste my time on this anymore. But this was for your enjoyment. All right. Up next, we'll be having on Cuban Conservative. If you don't know, that is my producer Andy, and I'll see you guys then. Ciao. It is I, the Political 12-Year-Old Show. We're the Political 12-Year-Old on the Political 12-Year-Old Show. And, Andy couldn't make it. It's just like, I'm a guest on Magnet. Is that a real thing? I don't know, but I thought that it'd be kind of interesting to call some Planned Parenthood centers and to ask them if they do prenatal care, because if you haven't seen my last episode or my last video on my channel, I went to an ACLU event and interviewed a person who was working with Planned Parenthood, and they said that she found that she knew people that what did some prenatal care. And I'm going to go step by step with you for this, so you know this is true. All right, And as speak of the devil, my producer is here. Hello, Andy.
Hello.
Andy.
Hello.
Yeah. Are you ready? Because like I'm live right now. You just decided to call me already.
Okay.
Sad. All right. So Andy, what do you think about the new healthcare plan? Or actually, no. You know what? Screw that. We've been going through this forever and forever. I think it's time for this.
Hasn't it been 7 years?
What?
They first wanted to repeal and replace the Obamacare.
I don't know, but why don't we have the drug debate? Wait. Why don't we have that drug debate that we've been longing to have?
Oh yeah, that one. Huh.
Okay, so why don't you support the legalization of drugs?
No, I mean it's just certain drugs. Certain groups of them, I think that they should go to a state. Medical ones should be legal regardless, because I mean, if somebody's in a hospital and they're dying and they need that medicine, then they can't just be, they need it. It can't just be banned all throughout all the states if it's medicine, right?
Yeah, and that's a pretty respectable respectable approach to it. But what about the other drugs that you say should be banned? What drugs would they be?
I mean, I'm just saying that certain drugs should go to a state. I mean, certain should go to states, while others should just be banned regardless.
Yeah, which ones?
Cocaine is one of them.
Okay,
obviously.
why can't a person who just is not bothering anyone else, not forcing anyone else to do it with him, go to his home and have some cocaine if it's legalized in his state? Which means the majority of people in that state. Wait. Which means the majority of people in that state said it's okay for him to, do it. Why can't he do it?
Well, I mean, it's just the side effects of it and how it can affect other people in that person's community.
Yes. But that is still him. He is responsible for his body, and if he does something that, if this is an individualist approach, which you say you're an individualist, if he has cocaine and he goes crazy, and by the way, cocaine doesn't make you just want to kill someone. Like you don't snort cocaine and just be like, I'm gonna shoot you. Like that doesn't happen. You pretty much just black out and like get all trippy. But it doesn't affect really anyone except him. And even if that were to happen, that's still his responsibility. And he does get in trouble for that because he is responsible when he is under the influence.
It doesn't matter how they get in trouble for it, there are still people getting injured. I mean, some of these drugs can turn sober people, normal, mentally ill people.
How?
Side effects.
Okay, what side effects?
Anger. Well, I mean,
anger. Cocaine makes you angry? Cocaine makes you angry? Wait. Cocaine makes you angry.
Yeah, I mean, wait, what?
Cocaine makes you angry?
Well, hostility, person.
Okay, and so does stubbing your toe. Should we ban furniture?
I
Should I mean cars do more damage to people, just statistically, in the world than drugs do. Should we ban cars?
No.
Alcohol has more.
They help our
Alcohol has more. Has made people a lot more angry than the drugs you've listed. Should we ban alcohol?
Well, I mean, prohibition didn't work at all.
Yeah, and that's kind of what the drug war is doing. The drug war has imprisoned has imprisoned so many African Americans and has replaced the state with has replaced the dad in the household with the state. Why should people people who even if they're not that good people, even if they're doing drugs, they're still a dad, and that's still a lot better than raising a child, raising your child with the state. Andy?
Oh, sorry.
Do you want to talk about something else, or am I already creaming you?
Oh wait, no. Wait. So what did you say?
That you should be for this, because the drug war has affected.
I mean, well, you're acting like if I'm saying that it's every single one should be banned regardless. When I'm saying that certain should go to the states and that medical ones should
Why can't they all just go to the states? Why can't the majority of people in a state who say, yes, I believe this person, if he consents to it and doesn't bother anyone else, he is allowed to do it. Why can't he be allowed to do it? Why do we have to force?
Because I don't put other people's lives in great risk.
You have not listed one drug that puts other people's lives in danger.
Okay.
Cocaine? No, it doesn't. There's more incidents of people driving cars and killing someone than people having cocaine and killing someone.
And you think that legalizing cocaine will make those numbers go lower?
Not necessarily, but not not by. I mean, I don't really see the connection between cocaine and killing someone. Cocaine doesn't make you hostile. That's not one of the side effects. I can Google it right now.
Can I check the side effects?
Okay, no, I can do it right now because I don't want you to be on your phone and then all you hear is like. So, let's look. Side. I spell effects. Effects of cocaine. All right, let's see. Blah blah blah. All right, so let's see. Drugfreeworld.org. This is coming from drugfreeworld.org. So they're gonna give me everything.
Yeah,
everything about this. Okay.
It's kind of hard to find websites that aren't very fine.
All right. So, and no, Drug Free World is against all drugs. Like they think all of them should be banned. So I'm giving you a very biased source. What are the short-term effects of cocaine? Cocaine causes a short-lived, intense high that is immediately followed by the opposite: intense depression, edginess, and a craving for more of the drug. People who use it often don't eat or sleep properly. They can experience greatly increased heart rate, muscle spasms, and convulsions. The drug can make people feel paranoid, angry, hostile, and anxious.
Angry, hostile.
Okay. Angry, hostile. But let's take a look at some cases of that. Well, let's see. They're gonna give me all of the cases right here: loss of appetite, increased heart rate, blood pressure, body temperature, contracted blood vessels, increased rate of breathing, dilated pupils, disturbed sleep patterns, nausea, hyperstimulation. Oh, wait, there's more. Bizarre, erratic, sometimes violent behavior. All right. Okay, you're good there. You're good there. I'll give you that. But let's take a look. Cases where cocaine has caused people to hurt others. Alright, let's look. Alright. I'm looking. No, not one case. And even if that were the case, even if it were the case that if you did cocaine and you got hostile, you would be punished for that. People drink and drive all the
It doesn't
time.
matter how you're
People drink and drive. No, people drink. Like if you drink alcohol, you get hostile, like very hostile. In some cases, and drugs have certain effects on different people. So we're not talking about general. We're just talking about this. These are the symptoms for some people. So some people may get hostile. So this isn't every single person who does cocaine. It's like alcohol. If you have alcohol and you have one too many beers, you may get very hostile. How many cases have we seen of a drunk dad who beats his children? How many cases of a person of a dad who does cocaine and kills and beats his children? It levels. It levels the amount. It goes. It's completely disproportionate.
It does depend on the levels, but then, well, I mean, prohibition never worked back then, but I mean, it's kind of a different situation. Like,
No, it's not. No, it's not. How is it a different situation? If alcohol, you still haven't answered me. Should we ban alcohol because alcohol has more cases of people misusing it and then becoming very hostile and dangerous? Should we ban alcohol?
No, because it's already like there are already thousands of bars and pubs all across the country, and
you can easily shut them down. Easily.
That would harm the economy a lot.
That would what?
That would harm the economy a lot.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna talk about the economy. What do you think legalizing drugs would do to the economy?
Well, I mean, it's not already part of the economy.
Kinda is. It's part of the black market. So it's I mean, if it's already part of the black market, that's just like giving money to bad people. Cocaine, like if you buy cocaine from like a drug, from like a mob, you're giving money to fund the mob. If you buy it from a store that just sells it, you're giving money to the economy and you're benefiting America. So where's the difference?
Well, I mean, what we've been debating mostly about is how it's been affecting the people. And
yeah, and alcohol has done a lot worse. It has been a lot worse than cocaine. Now, I'm not saying that cocaine isn't as bad as alcohol. I'm not saying that. Alcohol is way better than cocaine. But I'm just saying that we shouldn't be making these conclusions that just because of one incident we're going to ban it. We're not going to ban it because it can cause something. We can only ban it if it's the disproportionate amount. If it's like millions of people. If it hurts like 50, like even if it hit like 40, I would understand why you would ban it. It has yet to do so.
And unbanning it, you really think that you really think that nobody would get hurt if we unbanned it and people start using it a lot more?
Well, do you think that wait, and you don't understand that these mobs and drug cartels are filling it with things that are like chemicals and they're bad. Do you think that a business would do that to its consumer?
Well, if they took all of that out, then it would be a completely different product.
Do you think that a business would spark it with chemicals and all these different things that make their consumers go absolutely nuts? Do you?
Well, I mean, that's like if they took all that out, then it would be a completely different product, and then those things that customers for it wouldn't even want it anymore.
No, I'm pretty sure they would want it. I mean, I'm pretty sure that cocaine would still have the effects. Like these drug cartels are filling it with things that like rat poison or they're filling it with like sometimes you can find toxic waste in there. Like you don't know what they're giving you. When it's a business, they're telling you what they're giving you. So it would also offer up
different.
What?
So then when people will just go straight back to the black market?
No, because cocaine. No. Cocaine by itself is it's still like is a hallucinating drug. It still makes you high.
But you're still talking about taking all kinds of stuff out of it.
You're still what?
You're still talking about taking all of the like harmful chemicals out of it.
No. That's not what makes it. The reason why these drug cartels put it in there is to give it kind of a kick. And it actually harms the consumer a lot. And it's really just fast money for them. So, but with a business, they're willing to take those like certain things out that don't give it that kick, but at the same time enhance it and find better ways to make it better, and like and also to find a way to make it less dangerous for the consumer. That's what a free market does. No, I mean us capitalists agree with that. That when a business has the opportunity, they're able to get the product that they have and enhance it while at the same time dialing back the not good things about it. Can we agree on that?
But then won't be consumers of that product. I mean, why would they go to a completely different thing?
Because it's legal. And that's like the best source to get it to. What would you rather do? Go through a shady drug cartel, or go to a business or go to it like your cocaine store? What would you rather do?
I wouldn't be doing it at all.
What?
Me personally, I wouldn't be doing it at all.
Yes, me personally, I wouldn't be doing it either. But that's not what we're arguing. We're arguing that the individual should have the right to do it, and I think so.
It's there or doing it illegally before what they want to come out on start changing now. And plus,
okay, hold on. You're saying that if the consumer had a choice between a business where they're completely transparent about what they're giving you and they're doing it legally, between a shady mob who kills people and who puts things in it that could really harm you, what do you think they'll choose? What do you think they'll choose?
Well, I mean, if they're already addicted to one of them, then
they're going to. So you're saying if you were on crack, or if you were looking for cocaine, what would you choose? And don't give me the I wouldn't do it. Just tell me, what would you choose if you were looking for cocaine?
Heroin is legal.
The what?
Yes, but then if that person's
Wait, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. Speak up.
He's addicted to one. When you're addicted, you can't stop taking a certain thing.
No, it can, but that's the thing that we're arguing about. If it's,
we're talking about why would they change? Like, why would they go to another product that's legal?
That's the thing. It would gradually start going to they would gradually, because people who wanted to take cocaine, nothing's gonna stop them. So if you want to take cocaine, gradually more and more people are going to go to the stores that offer the better services. Actually, and let's look at the cases of weed. The weed industry made around like, hold on, let me see. Weed they made.
That was one of the ones that I was
Yeah, but they're and with weed, they put like crazy stuff in it on the streets, and that's where people usually went to. Now they're going to private stores, and they're buying it from places that make it very clean and make it better. And it turns out that helped the economy, and it created a lot of jobs, and more people went to those than the shady street corners.
Well, I mean, that's just one of the ones that I would love to know.
Yeah. But with the weed that they have on the streets, it's really harmful. Like they put things in it that make you go crazy, like worse than what the actual plant does. And the people all of a sudden went to the stores, and they made like a lot of money. The weed industry, and benefited the economy. What do you think? Come on.
Well, I mean, it's still different.
It's not different. Leaving marijuana to the States and leaving cocaine to the States is not a different situation. They're both a drug. I'm not sure if cocaine.
Completely different. Completely different chemicals inside.
They're not a different. Hold on. Let's look up. Cocaine. Let's see what they put in cocaine versus what they put in weed. And we can't even do that, because again, the drug cartels are putting things in it that shouldn't even be in there. Come on. Can't we just find ground that if we were to legalize it, there would be better stores making a better product and dialing back the danger of it? Come on. If we were to legalize, just leave it to the states with cocaine, that people would gradually go to the private companies, which would enhance the pleasure that you get from the drug while dialing back the harm that comes from it. Can we agree with that? And he hung up. I guess I really beat him. But Andy's a great guy. I was gonna leave him with a final statement that was gonna be his last one. But he's a great guy. He's my producer, and I love his account. You can follow him at Cuban Conservative, and we're gonna take a quick little break. And I don't know what I'm doing next, but it should be exciting. See you then. Hello. This is the Local 12-Year-Old Show. No, we're doing it again. All right. And we have something pretty exciting right now. We are going to be calling. Not gonna do that. Oh, I just pulled my mixer. We're going to be calling Planned Parenthood and asking for prenatal care. So this should be exciting. Let's go ahead. Planned Parenthood. I just asked Siri. Okay, there is a Planned Parenthood 2 miles from me. Let's see if we can give them a call. Okay, we're gonna call them now. Okay, let me set this down. Exciting.
This is a medical emergency. Please hang up and dial 911 or go to the nearest emergency room. Thank you for calling Planned Parenthood of Planned Mind. Your call may be recorded for quality assurance. Para seguir en español, please do now. Did you know you can now schedule most appointments online? Please visit us at www.plannedparenthood.org and schedule with the center of your choice.
We're going to be on hold.
That's www.plannedparenthood.org to schedule most appointments online. Your call will be answered in the order it was received. If you would like for us to give you a call back without losing your place from... Thank you for calling Planned Parenthood. This is Donna. How may I help you?
Hi, my name's Jenna. I was looking if you offered prenatal care.
No, ma'am, we don't. Although I can tell you that, hang on just 1 second, they do offer dating ultrasounds and things like that. Just not prenatal care. They can also provide referrals to providers in your area who do provide prenatal care.
So I can't have an ultrasound to, or I mean, can I have an ultrasound, but in the terms of seeing my baby?
You can schedule a dating, what they call a dating ultrasound, just to determine the gestational age of the baby.
Okay. But nothing else? No other kinds of prenatal care?
No.
All right. Well, I'll check around to see other places. I was delivered here by someone else who was campaigning here. But thank you.
Who was what now?
Someone who was campaigning for Planned Parenthood at a ACLU event, but apparently they were mistaken. But thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
Let's take another look. Planned Parenthood. There is another Planned Parenthood right here. Oh, this one has 2.5 stars. So, all right, let's take a look.